James Thompson, he is running Kansas 4th District. He's a Just Democrat. You might have seen him on the Young Turks Network before. He was on before his primary. He was on the night of his primary after he won. Now he's in the general election against Ron Estes again. I say Estes again because they were in a special election recently. James, welcome back to TYT.
Thank you so much, Cenk. I am so excited to be here. Things are going great here, and thank you for having me on.
No problem. So I want to talk a little bit about Estes and your strategy to beat him. So I want to give people context here. So Democratic Party was not heavily invested in that special election that happened in April of 2017. And I don't know where they are today. You'll have to fill us in on the latest. But partly because that's a district that had gone to Republicans by 30 points. But in your special election, you did wind up losing to Estes, but by only 6 points. So you closed the gap by 24 points. Let's just start with, for those who have not seen you before, how'd you do that?
Well, we did it with getting out and running a true grassroots campaign. We talked to people. We went door to door. We had involvement in the community, and that really paid off for us. You know, we did not get the investment from the national party. So we were doing this on our own. We got out there and fought for every single vote. We knocked on 40,000 doors. We had 300,000 phone calls that we made and about 220,000 texts. And we did most of that within that last month. And you know, if we had got an investment, we got a big pile of money in right in the last 3 or 4 days of the campaign because Daily Kos recognized us. If we had got that just a week earlier, we could have probably flipped this district, and I think we would have had a much different result. The problem is we got the money in a little bit too late, and we were struggling trying to find things to spend money on.
Yeah, and I know that the commercials get taken up at the end of a campaign and are more expensive, so there's a better way to do it. But luckily, you've got at least 6 weeks to go now. So if people act now, they can make a giant difference in this race. I want to get to the latest poll in a second, but I want everybody to already know what the links are, okay? VoteJamesThompson.com and to volunteer, VoteJamesThompson.com/volunteer, and to donate, tinyurl.com/donate to Thompson. And I hope that people can back a candidate that's real progressive in the heart of Kansas, et cetera. But tell us about the latest polls. I know it's not that recent, but in July, how close were you to Estes?
You know, in July, we did a poll right before Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez came here and did their rally with us. And we were just down 4 points. Essentially, we were within the margin of error there. And the other thing about that, the more important thing that came out of that poll is it showed a ton of Republicans and independents in this district as undecided at that point as well. So we have a ton of people out there that we can get. We need to start pulling them over. And the way to do that is with those media buys. I mean, we've attacked on social media. We've done that a lot. But the fact is getting on TV with media buys is the way to do it. And that's one of the things that we're hoping for from your viewers, because media here is $76 a point. Now, in comparison, you look to California and LA, you're at $240 to $300 a point. And that means that basically for $400,000, what you would buy in LA would cost you about $100,000 here. $100,000 buy on media here would put us over the top. We could win this, and we could crush Estes and keep Koch off the air as well.
Yeah, so I want to talk about Estes in a second too, but I want people to understand how efficient James's campaign has been. So there was a couple of special elections around the same time. There was James' election in Kansas, and then there was one in Georgia. In Georgia, the Democrats spent $230 per vote, and they wound up losing. How much did you guys spend per voter?
$11.47 per vote is what we spent. They spent more than 20 times more than us in the OSOF race there in Georgia for a result that actually did worse than what Hillary had done. We, on the other hand, we use your money efficiently when it's given to us because we know we have to, because we don't have corporate PAC money coming in. You guys are our super PAC. It's the people that are our super PAC. And we take that money and we're able to get a $11.47 or 47-cent vote price per vote here, which is better than any of the other elections out there last year. I mean, we really scrimped and saved and made sure that we stretched every dollar.
So James is just Democrat, so he doesn't take any corporate PAC money. The average donation has actually been exactly $27. So I think I've seen that somewhere before, James. VoteJamesThompson.com is the website. Now let's talk about your opponent. So this district is particularly important because it's the home base of two brothers. I think their last name is Koch. So has Ron Estes taken money from the Koch brothers?
Most definitely has. He has taken money from them. He's taken money from their PACs. His wife was the state director for Americans for Prosperity here. So he's got a main line of money from the Koch brothers. A win here is going to be huge because it sends a message to the entire country that progressive movements, people standing on progressive values, can stand up to the biggest donors in this country, the biggest people that are pushing against us with their corporate PACs, and still win. Ron Estes is a do-nothing puppet for the Koch brothers and for President Trump, in fact. So we have an opportunity here to send a big message that we're tired of it. And the people in Kansas are tired of it because we were dealing with a brownback tax experiment long before Ron Estes and his cronies took it to Washington and imposed it on a national level. So we know the results of that, and we are tired of it here in Kansas.
Yeah, so it's the Koch brothers' backyard. That's their home district. Unsurprising that they purchased Ron Estes, that representative, with their donations. James is uncorruptible. He doesn't take any of those corporate PAC money. But let's talk about a couple of things and how they might affect Estes in that district. He voted to repeal the Affordable Care Act. That was actually his first vote. But he also voted for the GOP's tax plan that, of course, his donors, the Koch brothers, were thrilled with. They don't get along with Trump exactly right, but they loved what Trump and Estes did in that regard. But so we're led to believe that in a red district in a red state like Kansas, well, that's going to play really well. Is that what you're seeing or no?
What we're seeing here is people are ready for something different, and they are noticing this. At a recent pachyderm meeting here, the Republicans were complaining about not being able to get the word out and having trouble with their messaging because people weren't having it anymore. And so what we're seeing is people are responding to the progressive discussions that we're having when we're talking about making sure that we have medical care available for every single person in the United States, making sure that everybody can get educated. People are responding to that. Now, the other side of that, though, too, Cenk, is that our district is the hardest hit in the entire country by these tariffs that Mr. Trump or President Trump has voted on, because we have agriculture and manufacturing as our two main industries here. We are tired of being the tip of their sword as they are ramming it through us here. We have an opportunity to do something different, but that requires everybody jumping in with us and helping us out. And if everybody that's watching right now could chip in $5 or $10, we could flip this district by being able to get that media buy.
Yeah, VoteJamesThompson.com, if I wasn't clear enough. So Estes, I imagine, backs Trump the overwhelming majority of the time. And so as the tariffs hit your district, do you think Estes is partly responsible for that?
He's definitely responsible. He should be standing up every day on the House floor yelling at the top of his lungs that our district is suffering because of these horrible tariffs. And he's not. He is a rubber stamp. He is going to go along with whatever the Koch brothers and or Trump tell him to do. And we've seen it in his voting. They are wanting to basically take the $1.5 trillion that they got with their tax cuts. They're wanting to then turn around and take that back from the people that need it most: Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid. These are the things that they're wanting to cut to pay for their corporate PACs and their or the corporate buddies and their yachts. We have to make sure that we're standing up. People here are tired of it. I'm sure the people out there are tired of it as well.
James, we got about a minute left. So what's the top issue that you're running on that appeals most to the people in your district?
The thing that appeals most to the people in my district are veterans and then getting money out of politics. People here on both sides of the aisle are just tired of it. They're tired of seeing corporate PAC money being used to spread lies and disinformation instead of actually coming out and talking to people. And then the other thing is that my opponent won't actually debate me. So we're a working class district. People want to hear from their representative, and Ron Estes won't come out and say anything because he's a coward.
Damn. That's how James rolls. He, by the way, founded the Veterans Legal Association as well. So, James, thank you for joining us. VoteJamesThompson.com is the website. We'll have the links down below if you're watching this later on YouTube or Facebook. Those donations make all the difference against these guys backed by the Koch brothers and by all those corporate PACs. James, thanks so much for joining us again. Really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Jane. Thank you so much, and thank you, everybody.